When you were a kid, your mom was a real estate broker in commercial and in land. And it was the early, mid 80s,
Yep,
something
early
like
80s.
that, which wasn't an easy time for a woman to be in real estate in New York, right? Jersey,
No.
whatever. And so she had to drive hard, and she's driving herself hard all day, but she drove you hard too.
She did. Mom was, and I think, again, when you look with a little bit of hindsight's always 20/20,
Sure,
right? Yeah. You understand a little bit more, but she was a single mom for a long period of time, and she had to put the earn on, and she was in an industry which, again, context I didn't understand, was a male-dominated industry, and she was a trailblazer, and I think she had the same difficulties I had for decades. When do you turn the switch off, right? It's very difficult to do that, to go from intense negotiations and clawing and fighting for every inch to dad, to husband, to friend, especially when you're trying to build a big book and you're always on, right? I chose to always be on.
Sure.
You don't have to take that path. I chose to go that path because it's where I found value. It's where I found a sense of worth, was between the lines and what I could accomplish. No matter what the task was, I always approached it as, there's no if, it's going to happen. And I didn't understand I was manifesting then. I just took every assignment as a personal challenge, and I was going to make it work. So for Mom, a lot of these things were not broadly discussed, right? Today we have videos and podcasts and TED Talks and all these wonderful resources, and candidly, a more friendly environment to even discuss this stuff.
Sure.
She didn't have that. So Mom brought it home and still brings it home to this day. She's tough as nails, and there's a lot of great things that have come of that, but a lot of things that are tough as you're growing up to understand.
So at some point, now you're a little bit older, but you're not hitting your full potential. You're not even coming close to your stride. You had some stumbling blocks, like everybody does.
Oh yeah.
How did that happen?
So before my professional career, things went off the rails, right? As a teenager, and there are things, again, that happened as a kid, and I'd need a lot of time and a few bottles of scotch to unpack that. But there are things that happen, and again, your subconscious is at work and you're blocking these things off. But when I started to have a little bit of freedom, I just went buck wild. I was not disciplined, not focused, and it led to my mother at one point going, enough, no more, you're out. So, go live with your father down in Florida and let him deal with this. At that point, I had enrolled in 2 different colleges or 3 different colleges, didn't go to any of them. And when I went down to Dad, it was pretty simple and awkward, but simple. Not, much of a relationship over the years. Again, he left when I was very young, went to Jersey, then to Long Island, then to Florida. So each step creates space physically and emotionally. And for him, it was like, you want to go out, get a job. You want to go to school, get a job. You want a car, get a job. You want to go on a date, get a job. Otherwise, don't talk to me. So I got a job. And I started to understand, party's over and it's time for me to get serious. So Mom is very much on the sales and emotional IQ side of things. Dad was hard-nosed, a good manager, but not an entrepreneur. Very, very, very structured in his approach, and he knew what he knew, and he really didn't care to know anything else. And he was in his comfort zone, and he was good at it. So it was a complete paradigm shift for me, and that's when I started to, for the first time, understand and feel good about myself, because I was doing things on my own, and it was sink or swim. I chose to swim. And
what job, I guess, that you got put you into the point where you go, wow, I'm starting to believe in myself now?
So it was a children's play center. They're everywhere now, right? We have the parties and whatnot. Yeah, sure. And it was just a job in the beginning, but I started to take interest in the way the business worked and what do these different things cost, and building models and business plans and how to be more cost efficient and where we can do advertising. And I didn't understand I was falling into a niche, but it worked for me, and we had great success. From there, I went to Walgreens, and I was working in the stock room, stocking shelves and doing the grunt work. And in a very short period of time, maybe a year and a half, I was promoted to the managerial role. I was a kid still, but I was overseeing 50, 60 people, many of them my seniors. And I really fell in love with their discipline and structure. But there was a part of me that was like, there's other things I know I can do, and you really can't color outside the lines again there, right? So those were really great stepping stones for me to understand how to manage people and how to listen. And it started to give me a good sense of I could do this. So then I enrolled in college down in Florida, marketing and management, associate's degree, 4.0, loved every minute. It made sense to me.